2013 was already a key year for the spread of awareness and the front lines of interactive truth journalism. We saw millions of people wake up, millions of people really understand what's going on. We saw the downfall of the NSA in public perception. Even the mainstream media now is railing against the NSA. Edward Snowden was to thank for that, as many other leakers were out there as well. But 2014, I find, is shaping up to be the best year in the past 100 years for awareness and reality. I mean, we're talking the complete culmination of everything we've been working for. And we're seeing this already. I'm very excited to announce that a document that we obtained through StoryLeak, through Mikhail Thalen, was also published on InfoWars, exposing Bank of America through an email, a leaked email that we were able to obtain and post online. Bank of America was working with the feds to spy on and target anti-government protesters, specifically Occupy protesters and who they called anarchists, which basically meant they didn't like the government or Obama. I'm going to get into that in a minute, but there's also another key piece here. We now have obtained documents back in December that are culminating now against a new bill that would usher in 1960s Cold War era continuity of government on steroids. It would effectively make the governor a dictator and change actually the words from the 60s, the Continuity of Government plans, that gave the Continuity of Government Act its ability to promote someone like a governor of a state, and in this case it's Washington, to absolute dictatorial power for a limited period of time. Well, now they're now actually taking out the limited period of time and giving the political officials full reign to do anything they want. Let's look at this document. So, we revealed this to you back in December through Mikhail Thalen on StoryLeak. It was also on InfoWars. It's the Modernizing States Continuity of Operation Planning Act, and specifically, this is going from the height of the Cold War during the 1960s when it was introduced. And instead of them in the 1960s saying, hey, when an enemy attacks, the government has the power to do what it needs to do. The governor has authority to do things. Well, they're changing only when the enemy attacks to any emergency, any disaster, or any attack in the state's Continuity of Government Act. So anything. There's a natural disaster, the governor can have dictatorial powers. It also goes on to call for the erasing of the government's requirement for bringing the legislative body together for no later than 30 days after a disaster or an attack. So in other words, what does that mean? It means that they don't even have a time frame to where they can have this dictatorial power. And why am I talking about this? Well, we're actually on our way to defeating this through exposing it. They thought they could just ram this through. They thought no one would care. But thankfully, we obtained this information and put it out there, and the mainstream media, as much as I hate it, in many ways I do appreciate it, took it without giving us any credit as of the Bank of America thing, which is great. It's amazing. They can take the work if it means actual real spread of freedom and awareness, it's fine. But they took it and made it a big deal, which was excellent. And that's what we're going to talk about next, this Bank of America scandal. A spy team admitted by Bank of America in the leaked emails that we got from StoryLeak, also posted on InfoWars. So let's look at this one now, specifically this email, again from Mikhail Thalen, key writer at StoryLeak, and also our friends over at InfoWars. An email uncovered through a Washington State Public Records request has confirmed that Bank of America's secret spying relationship with several federal agencies. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about this email here, corresponding and laughing about it. If you find, this is from Bank of America, the Vice President, Global Corporate Security, Senior U.S. Crime and Intelligence Analyst. She's speaking to someone from the government. If you find any intel on anarchists or Occupy protesters, oh my God, please let me know. I will most likely find it first, as social media trolling is not what the WSP does best. Bank of America has a team of 20 people, and that's all they do all day, and then pass it to us around the country. So this is actually the Fed's corresponding. But the key thing here is that Bank of America is now spying for the federal government and passing on stuff about Occupy protesters and anarchists. Can you believe that? Bank of America, yes, the same banks that are funding the drug cartels and everything like that and getting $183 billion in taxpayer funding per year, which is, according to them, all their profit basically, are now spying on us if we dare to question the government. This is a piece that has gone supernova. This is a piece that RT covered, did multiple shows on it. This is a piece that USA Today covered. This is a piece that I believe we even saw in multiple publications in DC, and I'm thankful for that. I'm not upset that they didn't give us any credit, which they didn't at all. I'm not upset about that. I'm glad that it's spreading, and I'm glad that you are making this happen and that we are actually activating freedom. It's similar to having multiple nuclear reactors all around the nation and launch pads and not launching the nukes. The nukes of information, the proverbial nukes of awareness, are launching. We're pushing the buttons. We're activating the codes, and it's going around all around the country. And the mainstream media is being forced to pick up on this because they know that if they don't, they're irrelevant. That's why the media is coming in and stealing our stories. They wouldn't do this if they weren't desperate. And I'm Anthony Gucciardi, inviting you to take it to the next level in 2014. We're defeating Monsanto. We're defeating the NSA. Hungary burned thousands of acres of Monsanto's GMO crops because they were upset with them. We can do this, and we are activating truth and freedom worldwide, nationwide, statewide, citywide. Join us in the fight.